Good morning, friends. Today we are going to learn the second part of module first of partition literature paper of BA second. As before this, in the first part, we learn about what are the objectives of the course, prescribed syllabus, and the primary information about the causes and effects of partition, where we learn about a review of religious conflict and partition. Next point, we learn British views on independence and why Britain agreed to independence and how Britain want to withdraw for this from this country. See, now we are going to learn about the causes and effect of partition, module first, part second. What is the idea of partition? Who are the people involved in it for the partition? That is the Muslim League, which is established by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, first to come up with the idea of partition or partitioning India. That is in 1940, presented a plan to the INC, means Indian National Congress, to partition after independence, and the Indian National Congress rejected the plan because Gandhi believed Hindus and Muslims could work out their problems. Next, how Jinnah's and Muslim League's goal. What are the goals of Muslim League party? That is, the concern was in a united India, the Hindus would have the majority and dominate the government, and there were no place for the Muslim people. Muslim League party thought about it, that this might be the majority of people of Hindus. Second part, afraid. What kind of afraid there is? It is Muslim people afraid that Hindus would severely interfere with the Muslim ways of living as per the Quran, that Hindus would take away their social and religious freedom. Muslim people thought that there will be no place for the Quran and its disciplines. Was the consistent betterment of Muslims marked by developments in all the spheres of life. Our spiritual, cultural, and economic consonance with own ideals and according to the genius of our people. According to Muhammad Ali Jinnah, he thought that there will be a spiritual, cultural, and economic things should be as per the ideals of Muslim people, and they can live with those ideals only. This is the photograph at the time of partition. Indian Congress Party and Muslim League cannot agree on one or two state solution. Here the photograph of Pandit Nehru, Mountbatten, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and the name is not shown here, is Radcliffe, who came for the partition line geographically. What is the opinion of Mahatma Gandhi on partition? He said that my whole soul rebels against the idea that Hinduism and Islam represent two antagonistic cultures and doctrines. To assent to such a doctrine is for me a denial of God. See, Mahatma Gandhi never want a partition. So he think that this might be a two opposite cultures is a is will be a rebel against each other. So he don't want to partition of India. What are the reasons of partition? Those are included Muhammad Ali Jinnah's Muslim League Party's establishment of its demands. All those things are about the are the reasons of the partition. And again, Hindu Muslim rights, whatever happened after 1940s is the background for the partition, and it is the reasons for the partition. First, ideological divide. What kind of ideological divide it is? That is, Indian National Congress and Muslim League could not agree on how the representative government of independence India should be based. There are number of things, that is the confusions and the opinions, that is, should a certain number of seats be set aside for Muslims, Sikhs, etc., to ensure that all the religions were represented, and another, should it just be completely open, which would mean that since most of India was Hindu, almost all the government positions would be filled by Hindus and not the other religious groups. So, this kind of ideological divide is thinking in that particular ideological divide is responsible for the partition. British treatment of Hindus and Muslims. This is the one of the biggest reason for the partition. That is a divide and rule policy in India. So, always British people throughout the world established the colonies, and they divide and rule in the world. So, here also in India, they established the colonies and tried to divide and rule policy in India. British categorized people as per religion. They always think that is the category of people should be as per religion, and they can become bifurcate from each other. So divided both the regions on religious text. They think that Hindus are on one side and Muslims are on one side because of the religions only, because of the, and as per that religious thing they can divide to each other. The intrinsic differences they found in them instead of on the way they coexisted in the present. They only think about the religious partition. Encouraged Indians to see religion as the key defining feature of their identity. So British people always think that there should be a partition according to the religion. British feared that the Muslims. Why British feared the Muslims? What is the reason for it? And that's why they want a partition. The British were still fearful of the potential threat from the Muslims, who were the former rulers of the subcontinent, ruling India over 300 years under the Mughal Empire. So, since Jinnah and the Muslim League pushed for two states, the British went in that direction. British always feared that there is a Mughal Empire, and Mughal Empire is of Muslim people, Muslim religion. So they think that there must be partition as per the religions. Next, mistakes made by Indian National Congress. That is, Congress made several mistakes in their policies, so they had to decide the country. For example, a policy of the institution of the Bande Matram, a national anthem which expressed anti-Muslim sentiments in the schools of India, where Muslim children were forced to sing it. Next, recent riots and acts of violence. See what kind of rights, violence happened in India before partition. There is Calcutta Riots. That is, Jinnah decided it was time to push for a separate Muslim state by using mass protest. That is, the Jallianwala Bagh Hatyakan. The 16th of August, Direct Action Day, was declared and a strike by Muslim workers. A meeting of 1 lakh through the streets of Calcutta. It started when the Muslim League members asked the Hindu businessmen to close their stores and the Hindus retaliated. So, when the Hindu owners opened their stores, they were beaten and they fought back in their defense. So, here is the Hindu Muslim rights created by the people due to by the people, and through that they want a partition. Reasons for partition, riots and violence continued. See, Jinnah had wanted a peaceful demonstration, but trouble flared up, leading to 3 days and nights of rioting and killing. See, 6,000 killed, 20,000 injured, 1 lakh become homeless. The violence spread to other areas. Gandhi was horrified and traveled to areas of conflict to call for peace. See how here the situations become worse and partition become necessary. This made any chance of togetherness and unity between Muslims and Hindus seem impossible. So this is the pictures at that time of rights, Hindu Muslim rights. See, what is the next part is about work of Lord Mountbatten, who is a viceroy of India, who is elected in February 1947. Lord Mountbatten, against the backdrop of the countdown to Indian independence, he is responsible for the partition. Lord Mountbatten, Viceroy, February 1947. He was sent to get agreement on a one state government within the British Commonwealth. The British Prime Minister wanted Britain to withdraw by June 1948. It was hoped a deadline would push the parties into agreement. So, British Prime Minister wanted to Britain withdraw by June 1948. That's why he sent Lord Mountbatten in February 1947. Developed a good relationship with Gandhi and Nehru. For the partition, he developed a good relations with Gandhi and Nehru. Did not have a good relationship with Jinnah, who felt that Mountbatten favored the Indian National Congress. So, after some time, Mountbatten became convinced that a united India was impossible. So, Mountbatten, though he wanted a partition, but before it, he also tried for united India. Mountbatten's reasons for two states. His first week in India showed him the gulf between Hindus and Muslims could not be breached. Riots in Punjab and the northwest province. If if students really you are interested in those kind of things of history, you can search on internet whatever the things related to it. You can read it, you can watch the movies related to partition, and you come to know the situations. So, Gandhi's fast and pleas could not stop the religious violence. He realized that the violence of 1946 had left bitter scars on the population, how the common people suffered because of the riots. Realized the Indian National Congress and Muslim League would not agree on how to handle one state, result in chaos. So, Mountbatten think that there there must be a partition. What kind of scars on the population? What kind of effect of those rights on the population? He realized that independence should be as soon as possible and suggested August 28, 1947. The Mountbatten Plan, June 1947. There were to be two separate states, India and Pakistan. Pakistan was to be made up of two parts in the northwest and northeast, separated by 1,000 miles. The Punjab and Bengal, with their small Muslim majorities, were to be divided and parts given to each state. The Muslim majority parts were to be given to Pakistan. This is the Mountbatten Plan. India would be made up of the old Raj, British controlled India. The princely states could decide which country they join. Most decided to join India. Now, though there is a princely state problem, that is, the big problem was Kashmir, a Muslim majority state with a Hindu ruler. That is, nowadays we see what kind of problem India facing due to the Kashmir province. Mountbatten Plan had provided for the separate state that the Muslim League had been demanding but had not given them all of the Punjab or Bengal. The date for withdrawal was brought forward 15th August 1947, 2 months later rushed. See how Mountbatten provided separate state that Muslim League had been demanding but had not given them all of the Punjab or Bengal. See, thank you. Here we end about the second part of module first, partition literature. The first part, causes and effects of partition. That is, in this part we learn what is the opinion of Mahatma Gandhi, how Muhammad Ali Jinnah, uh, the president of Muslim League Party, want a partition, and what are the reasons Mountbatten Plan for the uh, it is responsible for the partition. These are the major reasons happened in the history of India for the in, for becoming a independent India and parted India. So here we end, and in next part we will learn the next what are the effects on the common people due to the partition. Here we stop. Thank you.